The people in this video took a drug that turned them into zombies. That drug is called Xylazine, and it's eating the flesh of many addicts around the US today. Keep watching to find out how it's taken over Philadelphia. A flesh-eating zombie drug called Xylazine has taken a strong hold in Philadelphia, a city at the forefront of addiction crisis and care. A 2021 study conducted by the city's public health department found traces of it in more than 90% of samples of dope, a mix of different illicit drugs. It's unclear exactly how many people in Philadelphia are using Xylazine, but in 2021, at least 434 overdoses there involved Xylazine. In March, news broadcasts began revealing the scale of the Xylazine crisis in Philadelphia, where the drug first emerged. The reports exposed the true cost of America's evolving drug challenge. Block after block in the Kensington district, people were seen suffering from addiction. These people were increasingly finding their opioid supply was being cut by dealers with Xylazine. A news service company called Sky News would state, "We saw opened wounds, the skin rotting, and the volunteer outreach workers overwhelmed by the scale of the challenge." Xylazine is approved for veterinary use in the UK and the US. It's used on many different animal species such as cattle, sheep, and horses to calm and facilitate handling, perform diagnostic and surgical procedures, relieve pain, or act as a local anesthetic. It works by slowing down the nervous system and relaxing the muscles. Moreover, Xylazine serves as an effective analgesic, meaning it helps in alleviating pain. This characteristic is essential in ensuring animal welfare, particularly in procedures that could cause discomfort or pain. Xylazine causes the user to nod off for the first 20 to 30 minutes after use. After, they'll be deeply sedated for several hours. In an atmosphere of drug abuse, this puts the user in significant danger from the people around them. This sedated state would make them physically and mentally unable to defend themselves. Death can occur at any moment for an unconscious individual under its effects. Xylazine can also cause severe depression in the normal functioning of our central nervous system. This means people relax to such a degree that they'll choke on their tongue to death without realizing it. People also suffocate in their vomit without receiving any signals of distress to move or wake up. Skin wounds are also commonly occurring in people who use Xylazine, both intravenously and otherwise. These wounds can look different than traditional drug injection wounds and can lead to severe skin death, not only at the site of injection. These wounds can appear as black as necrotic tissue, abscesses, and skin ulcerations. The skin effects include rotting skin and expanding skin death across or down a limb, similar to gangrene. In addition, many users may not seek care for these wounds until much later, leading to significant tissue injury. This can lead to permanent harm and loss of function of a limb or amputation. It's not yet understood why persistent skin wounds occur for people no matter their avenue of ingestion, but it's certainly a worrying unknown. As this addiction and its effects are studied, we may yet to find Xylazine to be even more sinister than first expected. 39-year-old Tracy McAn is one of thousands of Americans who've become hooked on Xylazine in recent years. McAn said her horrific battle with the drug left her skin blackened. "I would wake up crying in pain. The only way to make it go away was to cut the flesh off. One time, I accidentally cut a tendon in my arm, and now I can't move my fingers a certain way." In 2009, Tracy McAn was a happy young woman managing a Domino's pizza franchise until she was involved in a serious car crash. She would be left in a coma for a month. When she awoke, she struggled with chronic pain. Doctors would prescribe her with super strong opioids. The car crash survivor quickly became hooked on the pills. Later, she turned to street drugs when her physician eventually stopped renewing her prescriptions. I saw no other way to cope, McAn confessed, saying she used other alternative drugs in a bid to numb her ongoing pain. McAn would use these drugs for years, but said things drastically took a turn in 2020. Around COVID, the effects of fentanyl started changing, she recalled. When I took it, it was knocking me straight out for 4 to 5 hours. Me and everyone around me using just thought it was strong fentanyl, but drug dealers were sneaking in Xylazine. McAn didn't realize the animal tranquilizer was being cut into the drugs until she started developing bruises and sores on her body several months later. I started getting these wounds. I would get these bruises at night, and my skin would turn black. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't show anyone. I just covered it up, she explained. McAn had finally realized that she was injecting the zombie drug after speaking with a woman who had also become hooked on xylazine-laced fentanyl. She had the same bruises and blackened skin as me, she noted. The woman told her the side effects were due in part to a meat tenderizer cut with the drugs. A short time later, McAn started suffering with blood clots and ended up in the hospital. I did a blood test and was septic. I needed an immediate blood transfusion. Lots of people I knew had gone septic from the drug too. I could tell the doctor and nurse were judging me like I was a worthless junkie. I ripped the IV out and left the hospital, she stated. McAn stunningly resorted to self-surgery, cutting off her own dead skin. By this time, McAn was homeless and living on the streets of Philadelphia. At the beginning of September 2022, McAn hit rock bottom. I was just living to use and using to live. I thought I either needed to do a lethal shot of Trank to end it all or get out of Kensington, Philadelphia, she emotionally admitted, saying she weighed just 85 pounds. In a bid to save her own life, she was able to seek treatment at a state-funded facility in St. Louis, Missouri. On September 4th, she entered rehab, where she spent 45 days withdrawing from Xylazine. This was a difficult ordeal, she says, like nothing else she had ever experienced. I had seizures from it and double vision, which wouldn't go away. The symptoms lasted 4 months into being clean, she said. After the mental and physical anguish she experienced during withdrawal, McAn is now celebrating being sober for more than 9 months. Congress proposed several bills to regulate Xylazine and to fund research on the drug, but no measures have been passed yet. Experts note the government has been quicker to act on the Xylazine threat than it was with fentanyl. However, they're still not fast enough. Ashish Thakrar, assistant professor of medicine at Perelman School of Medicine, states, "We need to prioritize those changes urgently, rather than waiting the traditional months and years. Many healthcare providers are frustrated that access to addiction services, both medical and psychological, can be costly and limited under insurance. Addiction is a treatable condition. We have incredible medications that should form the backbone of treatment," Thakrar states. Although they're not yet specialized for Xylazine, greater access to such medications could help prevent addiction issues that lead people to use Xylazine. The rise of the zombie drug underscores the ongoing battle against substance abuse and its impact on society. These substances endanger the health and well-being of its users and pose broader societal risk. Addressing this issue requires a comprehensive approach, combining education, healthcare, law enforcement, and community engagement. Understanding the nature and effects of drugs like Xylazine is essential in formulating effective strategies to combat this crisis. Through collective efforts, there's hope for mitigating the dangers posed by the zombie drug and improving public health and safety. No matter how hopeless things may seem in the face of substance abuse, there's always a way to get back on your feet. Battling with chemical dependency isn't something that you need to be doing alone. Experts in the field have helped thousands of people escape from the chains of substance abuse. If you are currently struggling with the zombie drug Xylazine or know someone who is, don't hesitate to click the first link in our description for help. See you next time. Subscribe for more.